Most people don't suffer from a lack of ambition. They suffer from unclear direction. They wake up with big ideas but no structure, no plan, no system. And without that, life becomes a cycle of trying, failing, restarting, and wondering why nothing sticks. We've all heard the phrase set goals, but here's the truth. Most people set goals that don't actually work. They set goals based on emotion, trends, or pressure. But real progress, it starts when you stop setting goals like everyone else and start setting them like the people who actually achieve them. Today I'm going to walk you through a fresh way to set goals. Not just any goals, but goals that stick, goals that motivate you, goals that actually pull results into your life. Whether you're trying to get in shape, build a business, master a skill, or simply feel more in control of your day-to-day life, it all begins with setting the right goal the right way. There's a method to it, a formula that the most successful people use, even if they never say it out loud. This isn't about hype. This is about designing a life that's worth getting excited about every morning. A life that moves forward with clarity, one day at a time, with goals that make sense and make results. Stay with me for the next few minutes as I break down the steps that turn vague hopes into real victories. Let's dive in. Number 1, decide what you truly want. The first step to setting goals that actually work is deciding what you truly want. Not what sounds good, not what others expect, not what's trending on social media, but what you truly, deeply want. That sounds simple, but most people skip it. They chase goals they've inherited from others. They pursue careers their parents wanted. They aim for money, status, or recognition, because it seems like the right thing to do. But a goal that doesn't belong to you will never fulfill you. You won't fight for it. You won't sacrifice for it. And when things get hard, and they always do, you'll quit. Why? Because deep down, it wasn't your goal to begin with. Clarity begins with honesty. Ask yourself, what would make me feel alive? What would make me excited to get out of bed? Not just on a good day, but every day. Don't judge your answer. Don't filter it through fear. This is about ownership. If your goal is to be a world-class chef, own it. If your dream is to run a small bookstore in a quiet town, honor it. If you want to build a billion-dollar company, embrace it fully. No goal is too small or too big. It's only wrong if it's not truly yours. The best goals are born from alignment. When your goal lines up with your values, your talents, and your vision, you unlock a kind of energy that's rare. You'll start to notice that discipline becomes easier, motivation lasts longer, and progress feels more natural. You won't have to drag yourself towards success. You'll be pulled by something real. This is where the real power comes from. Not the size of the goal, but the depth of your connection to it. Don't let the noise of the world drown out your own voice. Take the time to sit with yourself and listen. What do you want? Not what would impress people. Not what sounds good on paper. What matters to you, even if nobody claps. Once you decide what you truly want, everything else becomes clearer. The path may not be easy, but at least it's your path. And that's the path worth walking. When the goal is real, you'll find the strength to keep going, even when it gets hard, because you're not chasing approval anymore. You're chasing purpose, and that changes everything. Number 2, make the goal crystal clear. A vague goal leads to vague effort, and vague effort leads to vague results. That's the pattern most people follow. They say things like, I want to be successful, or I want to be healthier, or I want to make more money. But what does that even mean? How much success? How much money? By when? Doing what? If you can't define it, you can't achieve it. Clarity is power, and the sharper your goal, the faster you move toward it. Imagine trying to hit a target you can't see. You could be strong, disciplined, and highly motivated. But if the target is blurry, you'll waste time and energy. That's how most people live. They hustle hard, but without direction. It's not that they aren't working, it's that they don't know where their work is taking them. That's why the second step to setting goals that actually work is to make the goal crystal clear. You need to be able to describe it in a sentence, visualize it in your mind, and measure it in the real world. Let's say your goal is to lose weight. Don't just say, I want to lose weight. Say, I want to lose 15 pounds in the next 90 days by working out 5 days a week and eating clean. Now the goal has a number. It has a time frame. It has a strategy. That's clarity. If your goal is to start a business, define the kind of business, your income target, your timeline, and the exact steps you need to take in the first 30 days. Don't settle for abstract ideas. Turn them into concrete objectives. Clear goals trigger clear actions. When your brain knows exactly what to aim for, it becomes more alert, more focused, and more determined. Your decisions begin to align with your direction. You stop wasting time on distractions because you now know what matters. The fog lifts, and what once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Here's something powerful. When you make a goal clear, your confidence grows. Uncertainty is what creates anxiety. But when you know what to do and when to do it, your mind settles down and your momentum builds up. You feel more in control, more prepared, more capable. That's what clarity gives you. The ability to move forward with certainty, even if the goal is big. So don't just think about your goal, define it, write it down in full detail. Turn it from a wish into a mission. Make it specific, measurable, and time-bound. When your goal is that clear, your energy won't scatter. It will concentrate, and concentrated energy is how things get done. Not someday, now. Number 3. Turn the dream into a daily plan. Big goals sound inspiring. They feel exciting when you say them out loud, but inspiration fades fast. If there's no structure behind it, that's where most people fall short. They set big goals, dream big dreams, and then wait for motivation to carry them through. But motivation doesn't last. Systems do. And that's why your big dream must be broken down into a small, repeatable daily plan. Think about this. You don't build a house in one day. You lay one brick, then another, and another. If you try to lift the entire structure all at once, you'll collapse under the weight. But if you focus on just laying one perfect brick each day, you'll build something amazing over time. That's the secret behind every massive achievement. It was built one simple action at a time. Let's say your goal is to write a book. That's a great dream, but writing a book isn't something you do in a weekend. So what's the daily plan? Maybe it's writing 500 words every morning before the day begins. That doesn't sound glamorous, but that's what turns the dream into reality. Or maybe your goal is to improve your fitness. The daily plan might be a 45-minute workout, 6 days a week. Again, simple, not flashy, but effective. When you commit to a daily plan, something powerful happens. You eliminate decision fatigue. You stop wondering what to do next. You stop waiting for the perfect time. You simply do what needs to be done, because it's part of the plan. And every day you inch closer to the result. Here's the truth. The bigger the goal, the more you need to zoom in on the daily steps. Grand visions are great, but if you can't tie them to your calendar, they'll stay stuck in your head. You need to turn someday into today. You need to stop asking, how do I accomplish this huge thing? And start asking, what can I do today to make progress? Consistency beats intensity. Most people try to do too much in one day and burn out. But success doesn't come from doing it all. It comes from doing enough, every day without fail. It's the daily rhythm that builds long-term results. So instead of obsessing over the finish line, lock in on today's step, nail today, then nail tomorrow. Stack those days, and you'll look up one day and realize you've done it. You don't need a massive burst of energy. You need a repeatable routine. That's how you move from dreamer to doer. One day, one action, one small win at a time. Number 4, write it down and keep it in sight. If your goal only lives in your mind, it's not a goal, it's a wish. And wishes fade. They drift, they get buried under the noise of life. But when you write your goal down, something shifts. You give it form. You make it real. You move it from imagination to intention. And that small act, putting pen to paper, can be the spark that lights the fire. There's something powerful about writing things down. It's not just about remembering. It's about reinforcing. When you see the words in front of you, your brain starts to treat them differently. They're no longer passing thoughts. They become instructions, commands, a mission to follow. That's why the most effective goal setters don't just think about their goals, they document them. They put them on paper, on whiteboards, on mirrors, in journals, or on sticky notes. Anywhere and everywhere. Why? Because visibility leads to action. Out of sight truly is out of mind. Life is busy. Distractions are everywhere. If you don't see your goal daily, you'll forget why it matters. But when it's in your line of sight, on your desk, on your wall, as the background of your phone, you stay connected to it. It becomes part of your environment. And when your environment aligns with your goal, staying consistent becomes easier. Let's talk about repetition. Seeing your goal every day rewires your thinking. It's like programming your subconscious. Over time, your brain starts scanning the world for opportunities that align with your goal. You make better decisions. You say no to things that don't fit. You naturally start acting like the person who would achieve that goal, because it's always top of mind. Don't make this complicated. It could be one powerful sentence written clearly. I will launch my business by October 1st, or I will lose 20 pounds and feel stronger by summer. Whatever it is, write it down in bold, clear language, and keep it where you can't ignore it. This one habit, writing it down and keeping it visible, can mean the difference between remembering your goal once a week or living it every day. Think of your written goal as a contract with yourself. It's a promise, a commitment, not to anyone else, but to the future version of you, the one who's counting on you to show up, the one who's tired of starting over, the one who's ready for results. So don't leave your goal floating in your mind. Ground it, capture it, frame it. When you write it down and keep it in sight, you don't just remind yourself of what you want, you remind yourself of who you're becoming. And that daily reminder is how goals stop being ideas and start becoming your reality. Number 5, measure it or miss it. If you can't measure it, you can't master it. That's the rule. A goal without measurement is like driving with your eyes closed. You won't know if you're on the right road, how far you've come, or when you need to course correct. It might feel like you're moving, but feeling isn't fact. Progress is not about guessing. It's about tracking. That's why every goal that actually works must come with a built-in system for measuring. Here's what happens when you don't measure. You lose momentum. You start strong, but then life gets in the way. A few weeks pass, and you're unsure whether you're still on track. You can't celebrate wins because you don't know what you've won. You can't improve because you don't know what needs fixing. And worst of all, you start to drift. Slowly, then suddenly. But when you track your progress, everything changes. You stay engaged. You feel small wins stacking up. You get feedback that keeps you sharp. You start saying, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm further than I was last week. That shift in awareness builds confidence, and confidence builds consistency. Let's say your goal is to save $5,000 in 6 months. Break it down, that's around $835 a month, or about $28 a day. Now track it. Use a notebook, an app, a spreadsheet, anything that keeps you accountable. At the end of each week, check in. Did you stay on pace? If yes, great. If not, what needs to adjust? That's how winners think. They don't wait for the year to end to find out they've missed the mark. They course correct early and often. The same goes for fitness, business, learning, relationships, anything. Track workouts, track client calls, track pages written, track lessons learned. When you can see your growth, you believe in your growth, and that belief pushes you to keep going. Now here's a bonus layer. Get accountable. Don't just track it privately. Share your progress with someone you trust, a mentor, a coach, a friend who pushes you. Accountability is like putting your progress under a spotlight. It's no longer a private hope. It becomes a public responsibility. And when you know someone is watching, you're more likely to follow through. Measurement isn't about pressure. It's about clarity. It gives you a scoreboard. It tells you when to push harder and when to pivot. Without measurement, your goal floats. But with it, your goal becomes a living project. Something you build on, refine, and improve day by day. So take your goal and attach numbers to it. Time frames, milestones. Track it daily or weekly. Let the numbers guide your actions. Because when you measure it, you don't just stay on track. You gain the power to finish strong. Number 6, expect setbacks. Push anyway. Every worthwhile goal will test you. It's not a matter of if setbacks come, it's when, and when they show up. You've got 2 choices. Stop and complain, or adjust and continue. Most people expect the path to success to be smooth, but the truth is, progress is messy. It's unpredictable. It's full of frustration, doubt, and unexpected turns. But here's the key. If you expect setbacks as part of the journey, they won't break you. They'll build you. Think about it. Every storm that hits you has a lesson inside. Every delay, every failure, every distraction is an opportunity to grow stronger. The difference between people who succeed and people who give up isn't talent. It's resilience. It's that ability to say, this didn't go as planned, but I'm still moving forward. When you hit a wall, don't panic. Pause, breathe, and assess. Maybe your plan needs to shift. Maybe your timeline was too tight. Maybe life threw you something you couldn't control. That's okay. It doesn't mean the goal is wrong. It means you're in the middle of the process. And the middle is where most people quit. But you're not going to quit. You're going to adapt. You're going to get smarter. And you're going to keep showing up. Let's say your goal was to work out 5 times a week, but you got sick or had a family emergency. That's life. The old you might have thrown in the towel, but the new you reschedule. You adjust the plan. You stay in motion. Maybe you do 3 workouts this week instead of 5, but you don't stop. Or maybe you're building a business and your first few offers flop. Nobody buys. You feel discouraged. That's normal. But instead of walking away, you study what didn't work. You learn. You tweak the offer. You try again. Because setbacks don't mean you're failing. They mean you're learning. You have to stop expecting perfection. It's the expectation of perfection that kills momentum. Instead, expect the hard days. Expect the detours. But more importantly, expect yourself to rise anyway. That's where the transformation happens. Not when it's easy, but when it's hard and you still show up. Setbacks are not signals to stop. They're signals to grow. They refine you. They teach you grit, creativity, patience. They force you to dig deeper and ask, how bad do I really want this? And when you push through those moments, you earn a kind of confidence that no one can give you. You earn it through experience. So when things go wrong, and they will, don't back off, don't shrink. Remind yourself this is part of it. This is the test. And you're not here to pass the easy version. You're here to finish. Push anyway, because pushing through the pain is what builds the strength to succeed. Number 7, connect your goal to a deeper why. A goal without purpose is just another task. It might look good on paper, it might even impress a few people, but if it's not tied to something meaningful, it won't last. The real fuel behind any long-term success isn't the goal itself, it's the reason behind it, that deeper why. The emotional anchor, the thing that pulls you forward when motivation disappears and comfort starts calling your name. You've probably set goals before and started strong, only to burn out a few weeks later. You didn't fail because you were weak. You didn't fail because you lacked talent. You failed because the goal wasn't connected to something powerful enough to keep you going. When a goal is only about surface-level results, like money, attention, or status, it crumbles under pressure. But when it's tied to something that matters to your core, it becomes a mission. And people don't abandon missions. They fight for them. Ask yourself, why do I really want this? What's the story behind this goal? Is it to give your family a better life? To prove to yourself that you're capable? To live a life of freedom instead of regret? Maybe it's to break a generational pattern, or to build something that outlives you. That's the level you need to reach. Because when you find that deeper why, everything changes. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop looking for shortcuts. You become someone who's driven, not just interested. And there's a massive difference between the two. Interested people quit when it's hard. Driven people rise when it's hard, because they know why they started. Let's say your goal is to get out of debt. On the surface, that sounds financial. But dig deeper. Maybe it's about freedom. Maybe it's about not living with the same stress your parents did. Maybe it's about creating a new future for your kids. That emotional connection, that's your fire. That's what'll get you up early, push you through late nights, and keep you locked in when others give up. And don't just think about your why. Remind yourself of it daily. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Visualize it. Make it part of your environment, part of your routine, part of your mindset. The stronger your connection to it, the stronger your follow-through will be. Remember, goals are fragile in the beginning, but when you plant them in purpose, they become unshakable. Obstacles will still come, setbacks will still happen, but your why will hold you steady. It'll remind you that this isn't just about the outcome, it's about who you're becoming in the process. So don't just chase the goal, chase the purpose behind it. Because when your goal is connected to something real, something deep, something personal, that's when it stops being optional. That's when it becomes non-negotiable. That's when you finish. Setting goals isn't just a productivity hack. It's not just about to-do lists, calendars, or motivational quotes. It's about taking control of your life, deliberately, intentionally, and with purpose. When you set the right kind of goals, you shift from drifting through the day to driving your life forward. You stop reacting and start leading. You stop waiting and start building. Think about what we've covered. It all started with a decision deciding what you truly want, not what sounds impressive, not what other people expect, but what sets your soul on fire. Then you made that goal crystal clear. No more vague ideas or someday plans, just precise, actionable outcomes that can be tracked. And then you turned that dream into a daily plan, one step at a time. No overwhelm, no magic, just daily consistency. You wrote it down. You made it visible. You treated it like a contract with yourself, because if it's not in front of you, it's easy to forget. You began measuring your progress, because what you don't track, you can't grow. You learned to adjust when needed and to stay accountable, not just to others, but to the vision you've committed to. You also prepared for the hard days. You stopped expecting perfection and started building resilience. You understood that setbacks aren't signals to quit. They're proof that you're in the middle of something real. And finally, you dug deep and connected your goal to something greater than the result. A deeper reason, a why that keeps you grounded and hungry. This is how goals actually work. This is how people transform their lives. Not by making a wish on New Year's Day, but by getting specific, getting honest and getting moving. You're not just chasing dreams anymore. You're designing your future. And when your daily actions align with your deepest values, you create unstoppable momentum. So here's the final thought. Don't let this be just another speech you listen to. Let this be the spark, the moment where things shift. You already know what to do. Now it's about doing it, day by day, with discipline and direction. The life you want is possible. The goal is within reach, but only if you stop treating it like a fantasy and start treating it like a responsibility. You've got the tools. You've got the steps. All that's left is the decision to begin and the commitment to keep going. Let's get to work.